And so as you're stretching your legs out, separate them. Notice that they're a comfortable distance away from each other so that your thighs can really relax. You'll notice your feet flop out to the sides. And then just notice your arms and their distance away from your body. Also a distance, a space that lets you feel like your shoulders can roll back. And we'll just close our eyes for a few moments. And just allow yourself to fall back into the support of the ground. Go ahead and scan the back of your body, noticing the points of contact that are clearly in touch with the floor. And as you become aware of those areas, allow yourself to fall a little bit deeper. And notice as you inhale, what parts of your body do you sense move and expand? And as you exhale, your ability to release, soften around your jaw, soften around your shoulders and chest, your abdomen and pelvis. And with every following inhale, ask the breath to become just a little bit slower, so it takes more time and you can feel yourself filling up. And as you're exhaling, also exhaling a little bit slower, really releasing around your eyebrows, allowing your eyeballs to fall into the eye sockets, relaxing around your jaw and your tongue, the back of your throat, and your shoulders. And again, as you're inhaling slowly, notice if you feel your abdomen expands, your belly rises, maybe your rib cage expands into the mat and your chest rises. And again, as you exhale, softening your waist, abdominal and pelvic area, sensing the contact through the back of your thighs or the lack of contact. And just notice for a second, does one leg feel heavier than the other? Do you feel more surface area in contact with the floor along one side of your body versus the other? And just notice it. It's not good or bad, just becoming aware. We'll just take a few more breaths here, encouraging every breath to get a little bit slower. Noticing the movement that your breath creates. And when you feel ready, on one of your inhales, gently reach your arms up and over your head. And as we exhale, we'll take a long stretch, stretching to yawn. Inhaling, relax your stretch, let your body just fall back into the mat. Your arms can stay overhead. And as you exhale, again, exhaling to lengthen out. You can reach through your heels, reach through your toes, reach your fingertips away from your body. Inhaling, relaxing the stretch, noticing the breath moving back in. Last time. Exhaling to stretch out really long, maybe gently pulling your waist back into the mat a little bit, if that feels good. And then as you feel it, go ahead and interlace your hands, bring them to the back of your head, just to make a pillow for your head here. Relax your shoulders, let your elbows be open comfortably. And again, notice your thighs. And as you're inhaling, gently roll your toes and your thighs in towards one another, keeping the legs lengthened out and heavy. And as you exhale, let the thighs and toes turn out. Inhaling first, and very slowly, since it's such a small movement, roll your toes and thighs in and breathing to roll your toes and thighs out. Notice that when they roll in, the knees will bend a little bit. If there's any ache in your lower back, allow the knees to bend maybe even a little bit more. And notice how it pulls or moves around your sacrum and pelvis. Keep your legs very heavy as you go, yet noticing that when they roll in towards the center, in order to keep them rolling in, the knees have to buckle. Let them bend a little bit. Keep your heels where they are. And then they can lengthen back out and roll back out to a flop, where we're just letting them fall out, but we get there gently and slowly. We'll just do this a couple more times. How does one side compare to the other? Just 2 more breaths. Notice that you're waiting for your breath in order to move. Inhaling slowly, and as you're inhaling, your movement accompanies your breath. And then exhaling slowly, falling back with your head, jaw, chest, pelvis, and thighs. And the next time that your legs are turned out, go ahead and keep them that way. Drag your right heel in towards your right sitting bone, and we'll stand that foot into the ground. And then drag your other heel up and stand that foot into the ground. And just notice the soles of the feet making contact with the floor as if they're saying hello, good morning, good afternoon. And we'll walk our feet a bit closer together until we feel our ankles meeting. And the ankles will be in line with your tailbone in line with your breastbone above, and the crown of your head sits above those points. Sometimes you need to lift your head, look at the front of your body, and really make that clear for your mind. And again, as you inhale, let your head and shoulders release, feel how your body expands. And then exhale slowly, feeling the sense of your pelvis sinking in, your feet resting down, the back of your chest and head also falling back into the mat. And on your following breath, only your right knee will start to turn out to the side slowly, because it's going to move your pelvis. Notice how it rolls the pelvis over. You can gently push down into the left foot to kind of go along with it, only as far as it feels good. And then you'll release the pressure under your left foot, roll back towards the mat, bringing the right knee into center. Inhale when you're in your center. Be mindful that, again, you can sense the tailbone, sacrum, back of the heart, and back of the head are in line with each other. Then let your left knee turn out slowly. It pulls on the pelvis. Push down into the right foot in a way that sends the right knee away from your head, straight across the room. Your right foot stays standing into the mat, and what rolls to the side is your pelvis. And then you gently release the pressure, roll back through your pelvis, bring the outer leg back to center. And just keep alternating. And notice how you move on your breath. And maybe it's one breath to roll your leg out to the side and push into your foot. Another breath to roll back into the mat, bringing the knees together. And then breathe when you're in the center. Give the center a part in the sequence. Notice the weight of your head. Keep releasing through your jaw and your shoulders. We'll just do this one more time to each side. And the next time that you're coming through your center, go ahead and stay there. Hug the knees into your chest. Bring your hands onto your knees now. Right hand, right knee, left hand, left knee. Separate the knees a little bit so that you can keep that quality of falling back into the mat. And we'll gently draw a small circle around our sacrum. So your hands are on your knees. Both knees go to one side, just a little bit. They circle away from you and back around to the other side. And just notice the circle that you're drawing around your sacrum. Notice how when you go across your waistband, it's like a flat line as you go to the side, and then how we circle around. And then start to turn it more into a circular motion. So you don't feel like you're rocking from side to side to take your knees away. It's like you're staying centered on your back, and they directly go like into the curve of the circle rather than going to the side the way that they do when you're rocking from side to side. So it's almost like thinking that the movement stays within the frame of the body so that I'm not rolling on to my outer hips at all. I'm really staying, if you bring as long as it's been feeling good in your low back, bring your fingers to your pubic bone. And just as, you can close your eyes, reverse the direction of your circle. Still the same small circle. Notice that your pubic bone stays still. So when your knees are at your chest, you can like slide your fingers, dig your fingers down in there. Your pelvis is on the mat. And as you make your circle is small enough that it doesn't tug on your sacrum and pubic bone. And again, reverse the circle. Notice that you're inhaling or exhaling on one part and then breathing on the other part. Let it become synchronized. And every now and then change the direction of your circle. And the next time that your knees come into your chest, place your hands on your knees again. This time your knees are going to move away from each other. Your spine stays heavy on the mat. Then circle them out and around and back in towards your chest. Just circling them now as if we had a mirror right through the center of the body. Are the right and left sides mirroring each other? And notice your breath. Keep your feet relaxed. Reverse your circle. If there's any discomfort, if you're drawing the same big circle or the same small circle, explore different sizes. Bring them in a little bit. There's lots of sizes of circles, paths for the movement. And again, every now and then, keep reversing the direction of your circle. And explore different size circles. One last time, reversing the direction of the circle. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and hug your knees into your chest one more time. And we'll place our feet on the mat. Again, bringing our ankles close together. And then just sensing your body with the floor. Are your ankles coming together in line with your tail, pubic bone, breastbone, back of your head? And on your following inhale, reach the arms up and over your head. And again, take a long, reaching stretch. Notice the sides of your body, front and back, getting longer, arms getting longer. And then we'll interlace our hands one more time behind our head. Walk the feet wide apart. Separate your heels, toes, heels. Go as wide as your shoulders or mat, as wide as it feels comfortable in your hips really to start. Inhale while you're here. And as you exhale, take both knees to the right side. Gently press the inner edge of the left foot into the ground to encourage your pelvis to roll up and over to the right, and yet head, neck, and shoulders still stay heavy. Notice your right leg. Keep your feet where they are and bring your right knee in towards the midline first. Let that guide your pelvis across, and your left leg comes up because it has to. And your right knee keeps moving towards the left, guiding your pelvis over now, your legs over to the left side. Inhale while you're there. Relax through your shoulders. And again, let your outer leg, your left leg, roll in first, across your pelvis and over to the other side. So keep asking the leg that's rolled in, that's dropping down, to wait for the outer leg to come in first to guide your pelvis back. Relax through your head, neck, and shoulders. Notice if there's a difference between one side and the other. Is it easier to release your left shoulder when your legs are over to the right? Or is it easier to release your right shoulder when your legs roll over to the left? And the next time that you're taking your legs over to the right side, we're going to keep them there. Keep your feet where they are. Notice how they're staggered, separated. And then when you're ready, your left elbow is going to roll into your head, rolling you onto your side. Send the left elbow forward and notice if the left knee is still reaching behind you now. Inhale while you're there. And as you exhale, let your head roll back into your hands, gently opening the chest, the right knee rolling into the midline, coming onto your back again, and moving across to the left side. Gently push the inner edge of the right foot into the ground and notice how that starts to peel the shoulder off. Bring the elbow in next to your head and roll onto your side. Sending the top elbow forward and you inhale. Keep the legs heavy as you roll back through your head, neck, and shoulders. So tell the legs to wait for the head, neck, and shoulder to be open, chest open towards the sky. And then again, it's the outer leg that rolls in. You come back through center and roll onto the other side. So we're letting the movement pick the shoulder up off the mat now. And then we roll forward and the top knee rests just behind the bottom foot. Notice the length, the space between your heavy pelvis and your shoulders. And we'll just play with this for a few moments longer. And if it's feeling good, any particular place in the sequence where you're like, oh, what a great stretch, you can stay there and breathe into it for a few moments. Just be mindful that it doesn't get too intense, that it's not sharp, that it feels more like your breath is massaging your inside. Keep reminding the legs to stay heavy when your head, neck, and shoulders are rolling back into the ground. And then when you feel ready, you're going to come onto your back again and hug your knees into your chest. And one more time, drawing a circle, a small circle around the sacrum, both knees moving around together. Take your time to get there and be mindful that your legs really feel supported. Notice that the legs have like a strong personality, and so do the feet. And when something is familiar, we just did this a moment ago, your body might feel like your feet want to lead, your legs want to lead. Keep having your legs fall back into you and lead from your arms, lead from higher up. So your feet and thighs can really stay heavy and relaxed. And reverse the direction of the circle. And you may not literally feel that your legs can relax here. It's an intention. It just informs your nervous system on how to hold the tension, how to relate to it. And then reverse the circle one last time. And then we'll bring ourselves back to center. Again, hug the knees into the chest. Interlace your hands on your right knee and take your left foot to the floor. And then slide your left leg all the way out. Notice how the back of the left leg presses down towards the ground. And gently, as long as it feels good in the right groin, front of the hip, gently pull the right knee up towards the shoulder. And breathe. And as you inhale, notice if you can expand in your abdominal area, allow the belly to be soft as you inhale and exhale, so that you can feel the body position and the breath moving that space between your hip bones. And now with both hands on the right knee, gently move the right knee away from you so that it just sits over your hip a little better. But your hands are supporting your right knee. Circle the right knee around in the hip socket. And again, just be really respectful of what you feel. If you feel stuff in the front, in the groin area of your hip socket, try and avoid it. Even if it doesn't hurt, try and avoid the sensations there. And bring your awareness to how the back of your pelvis contacts the floor. We want that to become heavier. Very tiny circle of the kneecap in its socket. And again, reversing the direction of the circle every now and then reversing. And when you feel ready, place your right foot straight down on the ground in line with your sitting bone. And just notice how that feels. And then drag your right leg all the way out to meet your left leg. And just rest for a second and notice the difference between right and left sides. And we're going to do that rocking in and rocking out motion again, but a lot smaller, where it's just more like rocking out, and a lot faster. So it's like a twitch, like a twitchy movement of shaking your thighs out, of letting it feel wobbly and jiggly. And then rest. And now we're going to bring our left knee into our chest, interlace the hands on the left knee, and notice how it feels for the back of your pelvis. If you need to rock a little bit, if you need to fidget, whenever you're not like quite satisfied, feel free to fidget around, move around until you feel like, okay, now I can just fall back into this position. And then gently hug the left knee up towards the shoulder while you send the intention of the back of the right thigh pressing down into the ground. Now, if you feel any aches, any tingles down the leg, we never want to push or force when there's any sharp or intense sensation. And it might be dull, but if you can sense that this is that side, or the left side and the groin is feeling sensation, don't really push in too much. Instead, breathe slowly and notice that the breath finds the movement. Relax your jaw, relax your head and shoulders. Just taking 2 more breaths while you're here. And now again, with our hands on our left knee, Gently moving the left knee away from us so that it sits a bit more vertically over the socket. And we'll start drawing that small circle. And again, listen to the body, listen to the hip. And keep feeling and sensing into the back of your pelvis. Notice the point that stays heavy and still through just off to the left side on the back of your pelvis. Where's the point of weight back there that stays still to allow for this small circle in the joint? And then reverse the direction of your circle. Really use your arms to stir this around. Just notice what you sense, where you sense it. And then when you feel ready, again, you'll lower your left foot down to the ground. Just feel the support of the ground under the foot for the low back. And then as you're ready, stretch your left leg all the way out one last time. And just notice how the hips compare, how the back of the body is touching the mat. Place your hands on the front of your pelvis, and we'll do one last thing while we're still on our back. As we inhale, flex the ankles, reaching the heels away. As we exhale, point through your ankles. Feel how your heels slide up towards the back of your head. Inhale to flex. Exhale to point. And then notice how much tension occurs through the front of the thigh and the knee. And if it's a lot, if it's significant, stop, let the thighs relax, and then go back into it so that we eliminate that feeling of the thighs wanting to turn in and be like standing in attention. We allow them to feel heavy and relaxed as we send energy through the heel. And notice how it creates movement through your whole back line. And now we're going to do this shorter and faster so that again it becomes like a twitchy movement. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So find your rhythm. You can relax your arms, relax your jaw. And notice where it moves well. If you get tired, if anything gets sharp, just stop, let it go, take a breath, and then join back into it. Make it smaller if it's uncomfortable. But above all, notice how much can I let go and still have this rebound. Taking an inhale. And then we're going to stop, find a pause, find stillness, notice the movement of the energy. And then one last time, breathe your arms up and over your head. Take a long stretch through your fingers and your toes, maybe stretching to yawn. And then we'll slide our left leg next to our right leg. Cross the right leg on top of the left leg, reach through the toes until it flops you onto your stomach. And we're going to turn onto our stomach. Reach the legs out long, stack your hands under your forehead. And just get settled into being on your stomach now. And notice your head is centered between your shoulders. Your chest feels balanced on the floor. Notice that your abdomen and pelvis are centered under your shoulders, and your thighs are letting go. Often the heels will turn out when we really get the thighs and the knees in a good position and we allow them to let go. Just notice your breath. Such a great place to really feel how the breath moves the front of the body. Inhaling gently, feeling how and where you expand. And as you exhale, exhale slowly so you feel your chest falling through your shoulders. you feel yourself becoming more and more flattened out by the floor. And then when you feel ready, your head will gently roll to one side, and it rolls back through center and over to the other side. Keep the head heavy, offering your forehead a massage with the knuckles in your hands. And notice that it really is like just letting your head roll rather than turning it. It just rolls off center, rolls back through center, and then again it rolls off. Be mindful that we don't push, we don't try and force ourselves into any place. If there's any sensation in the neck, again, even if we wouldn't describe, it's not about pain, it's about feeling sensation and then pausing rather than pressing into it. And then noticing what happens. Oftentimes your range will increase in seconds, because we don't go to the point where we start to trigger the stretch response, where the nervous system feels like, oh, potentially a threat. And keeping the head heavy, noticing how it feels around the eyebrows. It can be very uncomfortable. Have patience, breathe, keep encouraging yourself to get heavy and take advantage of that moment of releasing a trigger point, potentially around your eyebrows and your forehead. And then when you feel ready to stop, we find the center. And again, exhale all the air out and let it feel like you're becoming flattened out like a crepe, like something that's melting and getting wider and spreading out. And on your following inhale, as you feel your body rise, start to lift your head, look forward and up, open your eyes. And as you exhale, bring your head back down, release through your chest and your thighs. Let your legs go. When you feel the inhale, you rise up with your breath. And as you feel the exhale, you allow the exhale to bring you back down slowly and smoothly. Notice that we can keep releasing well beyond our forehead touching our hands. So it's like bring your head down and let yourself continue to release. Notice that you're releasing all the way down through your pelvis, glutes, thighs, calves, and feet. And the next time that your head comes down, keep your head down. And again, just kind of let yourself melt into the mat. And on the following inhale, slowly bend your knees. Bring your heels in towards your sitting bone. And notice how that picks the front of the pelvis up off the mat. As we exhale, lengthen the legs out, pressing the pubic bone and the feet reach out and long. Inhale when you bend your knees. Be gentle, but do notice how far can you bend your knees. Does it feel comfortable? And as you're exhaling, lengthening your legs out, notice the point where your pubic bone, the front of your pelvis, the last bone on the front of your body, starts to get heavier. Gently press down into it, but your toes do make it down to the ground. Inhale, release that pressure through your pelvis, bend your knees, and squeeze your heels in towards your tailbone. Exhale, lengthening out. When you're exhaling and lengthening out, again, notice it's your pubic bone that makes like the ground contact, and then it shoots your legs away from the top of your head. When you bend your knees, inhaling, it lifts your tailbone towards the sky, and it tightens up the space between the ribs and the pelvis. Pulls the legs into the socket. And then it's almost like pubic bone pressing down allows us to reach the legs out of the socket. Be mindful that you move in the space, in the range. That feels like it's a reward, it's like a hug, not something that's kind of achy. You want to stop the movement before you get to that ache sensation. And it's going to be a little more important because now on the following inhale, so reach out long as you exhale, relax your shoulders. And on the inhale, lift your head and bend your knees at the same time. And as you exhale, lengthen out through your legs, bring your head to the earth and release your shoulders as your toes reach long. Inhaling, releasing the pressure through the front of your pelvis, bending your knees as your tailbone and eyes reach up. Exhaling, your head and your pubic bone reach further away from each other as they come down to the floor. And then we can pull them back and closer to each other when we bend our knees and lift our head. We'll just do this 2 or 3 more times. Notice your breath is slow. And the next time that your head comes onto your hands, relax your thighs, relax your body. And again, roll your head from side to side. Notice if anything's changed. Has the rain changed? The quality of the movement maybe has changed. And then when you feel ready, you'll bend your knees one more time. We're going to rock our feet from side to side, and we can keep our head rolling if it feels good to do those 2 things together. And the next time that your feet are rocking to the right side, stretch the right arm out along the floor and bring yourself to lying on your right side. We're going to stretch our legs all the way out as if we were standing on our feet. And if you feel any discomfort or significant wobbliness, move your feet, your legs slightly forward. And for a second, just tune in to the right side of your body and how it makes contact with the ground. And you could even use the edge of your mat to help create a little more awareness for, like, if you had a wall behind your head, shoulders, your hips, you want to feel that your pelvis is still lying or stacked under your shoulders. You can also bring your left arm along the side of your body and just feel that the pelvis isn't forward or behind you. Use your top hand in front of your chest with your fingertips like a little kickstand. And you want to be mindful that the top shoulder doesn't start creeping up, that it feels like it's just resting, like let your arm rest on your body. And as you exhale, start to reach your top leg back, just sliding it towards the space behind you, only to the point where you feel it starts to create tension in the back of your left thigh. Inhale, take your straight leg forward, just past the bottom foot. You don't need to go too far. Exhale and reach the leg just slightly into the space behind you. Both feet can have energy in them. The feet are funny, right? Because what we do with the feet sends messages up into the rest of the body. So you want to have energy through your feet, but not so much that it's making your thighs and your groin really work so hard. Notice that your bottom leg, notice that the movement is small enough that your side of the body is under control and not feeling like it's constantly jiggling. Because the effort is to really keep the leg held so that it can keep swinging back and forth. Keep relaxing your head onto your bottom arm. now the next time that your left leg is moving forward, start bending your knee pretty soon. Hug the left knee into the chest, and then press the left foot down away from your head and gently behind you. Inhale, bring it slightly forward, bend the knee, hug the knee into the chest. Exhale, press the left leg down away from your head and then slide it back. Inhale to move forward and up. Exhale to move down and back. So try and find that place where you're pressing down with a straight leg and then it goes back. Then the straight leg moves forward and then the knee bends. Keep the head resting on the bottom arm. Last two. And last one. Now, the next time that we're reaching the left leg behind us, let your upper body turn towards the mat and you're going to come to lying on your stomach again. Stack your hands under your forehead. Just rest for a moment and notice if one side feels longer than the other. Or just different. And now when you're ready, again, you bend your knees, rock your feet from side to side. Notice the movement across the front of the pelvis. And as your feet rock to the left side, we'll stretch the left arm up and over the head and come to lying on our side, stretching our legs out or keeping them long, stacking the feet on top of each other. Again, notice that you have a long line through your trunk. Your legs might go a little further forward of your hips, just to make it more stable on the left side of the body. Feel the left side of the body on the ground and feel like your top leg needs to reach away from you so that it doesn't become shorter than the bottom leg. We're actively reaching the leg up and we'll float that leg up. And as you inhale, take the straight leg slightly forward. As you exhale, take the straight leg slightly back. We're just gonna move the leg, straight leg, reaching long, finding the activity through the feet that helps us connect, that helps us feel stable in our pelvis, but yet it's not as intense as it could possibly be. And notice how this hip compares to the other side. And sometimes we need to change the angle of where we hold the leg as we move forward and back, just so that it feels more comfortable. You can, if your top hand's helping you for support a lot, just be mindful that the shoulder is as relaxed as possible. You can also play with the top hand and bring it again onto your pubic bone on the front of your body. And notice that when your leg is going forward, that area relatively pulls back. And it has to stay back when the leg goes behind us, because otherwise it'll arch our back and press our pelvis forward. And now the next time your leg comes forward, bend your knee, hug your knee up, and then press straight down through the foot and push it back. And the more challenging it becomes, the more the bottom leg can scoot up. Right, and the opposite is true too, right? So if you want more of a challenge, just slide the bottom leg back, but just be mindful that you're in control. Because if the challenge is making you wobble more, then it's not actually a challenge, like the challenge, gravity won, right? You lost. So find the angles where you feel like it's promoting stability on the left side of the body. Last two. Keep reminding your head that it can rest. And now again here, we're going to reach the leg behind us and then allow ourselves to roll forward and onto the hands, stacking the hands for the forehead, lengthening the legs out, noticing if you feel a little more balanced. Does the other side feel different now? Inhaling while we're here. And now as we exhale, gently press your pubic bone into the mat. Press it down gently. Notice if it fires up the front of your thighs. Inhale, relax the front of your thighs. Allow the legs to really release. And then as you exhale, again, very gently press your pubic bone into the mat. Notice if you can sense the backs of your thighs waking up. Inhale, releasing the pressure. And the next time that you exhale and press your pubic bone down into the mat, we're going to keep that pressure there and start to lift the back of the right thigh up towards the sky. Relax your shoulders. Keep the front of your pelvis heavy on the mat. And then bring that leg down. Inhale, release the pressure under the pelvis. Exhale, press the pubic bone down and gently lift the leg up as the pelvis presses down. Inhale, bring the leg back down, release the pressure and the effort. Super important to release the effort when you come down. And we'll just do one more on each leg. And now the next time that the legs come down and we inhale, let everything release. And as we exhale, pressing the pubic bone down, this time floating both of the legs up. Feel like you're lifting from the back of your thigh as the front of your pelvis pushes down. And then your legs come down, inhale. Exhale, keep your legs down and lift your head. Only your head now. Forward and up. Inhale, bring your head down, relax your chest. Exhale, press your pubic bone down, lift your legs, lift your thighs. Bring your legs back down. Inhale on the mat, release. Exhale, lifting from the head, looking forward and up. Squeeze the back of your neck. Bring your chest and head back down. Inhale. Last time. Exhale, press the pubic bone down, lifting both of the legs up. They're reaching long away from your head. Inhale when you're back on the mat. Now this time we're going to exhale, press the pelvis down, lifting the back of your thighs and your head up at the same time. Let your shoulders come back a little bit so that you feel like you're not looking at the ceiling now. In fact, you can close your eyes. Make it feel like you want to push your pelvis down and then reach the back of your head away from the back of your sacrum or your pelvis. And then as you inhale, slowly release back down. Relax your thighs. Exhale, press your pelvis into the mat. First reach long, like the top of your head and toes reach away from each other, and then they both start to come up. So that you feel that it's the back of your head pressing into the space behind you as the back of your pelvis is pushing down into the floor. And then we release back down and inhale. Last time, exhaling, pelvis pressing in, body getting long. We float up and we bring our hands underneath our chest. We're going to bring the elbows in pretty tight, the shoulders reaching away from the ears. Push down into your straight arms. Let it bring your pelvis and thighs onto the mat. Come all the way up slowly. Only go as far as it feels good for the lower spine. And then bending the elbows, keeping them in close to the sides of your body, lowering down one vertebrae at a time. Bring your forehead to the mat. Your hands are tucked in under your chest. Elbows are close. Roll your shoulders up to your ears now on your following inhale, so that you feel like your head is on the floor and you're making space between the ribs and the lower back. As you exhale, glide the shoulder blades away from the ears. Press the hands into the ground as you bring the back of your head up, and you only come up as high as your low back feels good. Keep that feeling of your pubic bone having something to press into, even when you don't have the floor under you. When your head comes down, inhale, glide the shoulder blades up. Wait for the shoulder blades to glide back. Notice how that digs the hands into the ground. Keep elbows in tight, shoulders away from the ears, especially if you go all the way to straight arms. When you bend your elbows, that's where we have to work the hardest to keep the shoulders wide and away from the ears. Last two. Take your time with it and keep the awareness about the head moving away from the toes as you move. So when you come back to the floor, you want to feel like, yeah, I'm a little bit taller. I have more space between all of my joints. And the next time that we're up on our knees, we're going to fold into child's pose. Bring your knees kind of close together in child's pose and lower down as far as it feels safe and comfortable. And you can bring your hands under your forehead as well. And just breathe with your thighs close to each other in your child's pose position. Inhale slowly and sense what happens through the lower back, through the sides of the low back. And now on our following inhale, we'll reach the arms up and over our head. Slide the fingertips as far away from your head as it feels safe in the shoulders, and you still have your pelvis pressing back into your heels. Inhale while you're here, spread your fingers wide apart. And as you exhale, glide up and forward, bringing your weight to your hands. Inhale and press back. Exhale and glide forward. Inhale and press back. Keep going. Follow your breath. Notice how you're breathing. And encourage your exhales to come, inhales as well, but especially exhales to come out of the back of your throat, as if you wanted to fog up the space between your hands or just in front of your face. Last two. And the next time that we come up over our hands, we're going to square ourselves off so that we come into more of a table or quadruped position. And you want your hands to be very much underneath your chest so that there's not a lot of space between your thumbs. Spread your fingertips apart, and then notice that your knees are underneath your pelvis, that there's a significant amount of space between your hands and your knees. Inhale, and we're just going to sit back. Don't move your hands or your knees. Just sit back for a second and gently pull your shoulders up and toward your ears. And now as you exhale, we're going to glide forward, and notice how your shoulders roll away from your ears as you come onto your hands. You want to be aware of keeping them that way throughout your movement. And as you inhale, your tailbone will lift. Roll the chest forward and look up, and notice how the shoulders stay wide. Exhale, curl your tailbone down the backs of your thighs, rounding the spine into the cat, curling in to look at yourself, but also notice that your shoulders stay wide. Inhaling in one direction, exhaling in the other. And again, initiate from your pelvis. So try and get as much movement to your pelvis and feel that it travels up the spine. So when you're inhaling, instead of looking up straight away, lift your tailbone up first and then lift your head. And then as you're exhaling, keep your head up, curl your tailbone down the backs of your thighs, and you have to just kind of feel for when it's time to roll your head in. Keep going. Notice your elbows stay straight, pushing the floor away. The weight from the upper body down in your hands rather than up in your shoulders. If your shoulders get tired, then your hands are not quite under your body. When your hands are very much, or your wrist or under your body, you'll feel more pressure in the hand and less pressure in the shoulder. Last one. The next time that we inhale and look up, we're going to stay there. Exhale, walk the hands forward just a little bit, and now bring the right foot forward. You might have to come up onto your fingertips, make some space. Bring the right foot forward, and we're just going to bend the right knee and lean forward. Your hands can stay on the mat at first, and then walking the hands back towards the left knee. Notice how it feels. Walking forward, your hands can walk up, and then walking back. And as long as the knees feel okay, you can sit all the way back into your left heel. And then again, you can use your hands, and notice that to go forward, your head has to lean in, and the weight of your head will start to help you transfer through your hips. Allow your knee to go past your toes, and try and keep your heel on the ground. And then as you're going along, notice how much are you using your hands? How much do you really need them? Can we start to not use the hands or use them less? When you sit back, you can sit all the way up on your left foot. Lean forward, and notice that as you lean forward, it'll bend your front knee. And you start bringing your body up a little bit out of your hips. Notice your breath. We'll do 2 more. And now the next time that our weight is forward, our right knee is bent, we're going to bring our left hand onto the mat, maybe just slightly ahead of the right foot. You can also bring your pelvis back a little bit so that your knee is not over your toes, but rather almost over your ankle. Inhale and reach the right arm alongside of your head as you look at the floor between your left hand and right foot. Bring your right hand to the back of your head. Keep the elbow in close. Push down into the left arm, and we'll start turning our chest towards our right thigh. Inhale while we're here. Keep the elbow close to your head. Exhaling, turning towards your left arm. Take your right elbow towards your left arm. Inhale, push down, turn towards the knee, and look up. Keep the elbow close to the head. Exhale, turning down, bringing the right elbow towards the left, and look at the left side of the room. Look over your left shoulder, and as you inhale and turn, look towards your right shoulder. And breathe. Just 2 more. Notice all the movement around the right hip. Where do you feel heat building up? right? We're creating friction on the inside, especially the low belly right hip side. Last one. And we'll inhale, turn towards the right knee, reach the right arm up towards the sky. We're going to pretend that we have a hook, something that we can pull down on. Inhale. As you exhale, reach up for your hook, push down with your right foot, and pull yourself up. And so you're still in your twist. Left hand is going to come to the right knee. Right hand is going to come to the back of the head again. Inhale while you're here. And as you exhale, gently bend your left knee forward. And you'll notice how that might want to pull your ribs forward. Be mindful that, again, the direction is up, not back. And just think of leveraging the knee to keep your twist. And then lean back a little bit over the bottom knee. Inhale, we can get taller here. Exhaling, gliding the left knee forward, and think of the left ribs turning to the side. Left ribs moving forward, right ribs moving back. Inhale, pull out of it, have more space between the ribs and the pelvis. Exhale, gliding forward, wringing ourselves out. And then we're going to turn back to the mat, bring the hands back down on either side of the right foot. Send your right knee back and child's pose. And let's just notice the different sensations between right and left sides. And now again, we're going to inhale, reach the hands back up and over the head. Exhale, gliding back up onto hands and knees. Send your body weight forward. Inhale and sink back. Exhale, forward. Inhale, back. We'll just do that 2 or 3 more times. Go as far forward with your pelvis as it feels good on your back. And then when you feel ready, square yourself off in quadruped. So the hands coming back under the chest, the knees coming back under the hips. And now again here, find that place where you're pressing through your arms, the back of your head, the space between your shoulder blades and your pelvis, that flat bone on the sacrum. They're pretty much lined up with each other. And as we inhale, we're going to look up and over our right shoulder and bring both feet over to the right side. Come back through your center, inhale. Exhale to the other side. Looking up and over the shoulder, and the feet come to the side as well. Be mindful that your hands and knees are staying where they are. The head and feet come back to center together, and then we look up and over the other side. Hands and feet come back to center. When we're in center, be mindful that the back of your ribs are pulling up away from the floor, but you're also able to look up and around your shoulder. If you can see the front of your thighs, then your head is too low. You want to bring your head into the space between the shoulders so that you're literally looking up and over the shoulder. Last one to each side. And then we'll find our center. Step the hands forward a tiny step. Exhale, bring your left foot forward now onto the outside of the left hand. And we're going to walk our hands forward a bit. We can come up onto our fingertips, bending the left knee, reaching it over the toes, and then walking the hands back towards the right foot. Walking back and forth. Breathe in one direction and breathe in the other direction. Tune into how things feel. Go as far back as it feels appropriate. Notice how the knees, the tendons, right, the hips and the legs warm up, and it gets easier to move through them and transfer the weight here. And as you keep going, start noticing how much weight is going into your hands. And as you keep going, see if you can lighten your hands up so that eventually you do this without using the hands and the body rises up. And then when you're sitting back, you let yourself fold forward as much as you need to come down smoothly, and then lean forward so that the weight of your head and the direction of your head helps to guide your weight forward. You push with your left foot, and that guides your weight back. Once more. And now the next time that we come up through the center and lean forward, we're going to stay there. Keep or bring the right hand onto the floor, and then just push back a little bit. Bring your pelvis back so that when you look at your left knee, there's more of a 90-degree angle there, and your hips are not in a stretch. Shift your weight into your right hand and reach the left arm alongside of your head. So you're thinking about your left hip, which is like completely compressed right now, energetically reaching back away from your left fingertips. Bring your left hands to the back of your head and keep your elbow in close. We're going to push into the right hand and start turning towards the left knee. Inhale as you look up. Exhale, turning back towards the floor, bringing the left elbow towards the right forearm. Inhale while you're here. Exhale, press down into the right arm. Notice how that helps lift you up. Keep that feeling of length between the back of the head and the sacrum as you move. So we're not going up and down. We're actually like a spring getting pulled apart, drawing a spiral around our right shoulder and our left hip. Keep going, follow your breath. You could even close your eyes with this. Keep the right arm very straight, the shoulders wide. Notice the pressure of the left foot into the ground. And the next time that you're turning and looking up at the sky, you'll stay there. Reach the left arm up for the ceiling. And now again, as if we had a hook to reach for, push down in your left foot, pull yourself up, coming up through the center. Your right hand is going to come across onto the outside of your left knee, and your left arm is going to come to the back of your head again. Relax the shoulders down, pull the left elbow close to the head. Inhale and glide forward, and that's where you want to be gentle, but use the right forearm and hand to leverage the left knee there, and then push down into the left foot, bring your body back over the right knee. Inhale. Exhale slowly as you go forward. Notice how the low belly moves on to the front of the thigh, and we gently press ourselves into it. Inhale, we pull back and we get length. Exhale forward. Last two. And the next time that we come forward, we're going to stay there, bringing the hands back down and onto the mat. This time, lean back a little bit. Take your left foot to the outside of your left hand. So your hands are both on the inside of your left foot. Tuck your toes under. Shift your body weight forward. Lift the back knee off the ground. And you're going to step your front foot forward as well, or your back foot forward, I mean. So both feet now are on the outside of the hands. Let your head release down, relax your shoulders, and bend your knees. Keep the knees not all the way bent, so not into a squat, just a slight bend in the knees with the body hanging down. Inhale while you're there, and as you exhale, start to straighten one leg out, and notice how it shifts you over to the bent knee. Let the knee bend a little bit more as you straighten one leg. Inhale, bend the straight leg, come back through center, and now straighten the other leg. And notice how it glides you over to the other side. So as one leg straightens, the other knee bends. Bend both knees back through center. Exhale, straighten one leg, the other knee bends as you glide over it. Just one more time to each side. And then we'll keep both of the knees bent. Lean forward and put your hands on the floor. So bend your knees as much as you need to walk your hands forward on the floor. And just play with transferring your weight from your feet into your hands. And then we're going to shift our weight into our hands. And as we exhale, step our left foot back and our right foot back to the top of a plank. And if plank's a little too much for you today, just put your knees on the mat and come back into quadruped. And as we inhale, we're going to push through the straight arms into downward dog. So if you're in quadruped, just flex your toes, reach back, lift the knees off the ground, let your head dangle through your arms, bend one knee as you stretch the opposite heel down and switch. Just keep letting the head release through the shoulders. If you don't feel supported where you are, then change the position of your hands or change the position of your feet. And then we'll keep both knees slightly bent. Inhale while you're here. Maybe reach back in your shoulders if it's available. A little further. And as we exhale, we're going to glide forward. The knees will lower down, but they won't touch. So it's like a hovering quadruped. Inhale, hinge back through your hips. Straighten the legs, going back into downward dog. Exhale, bend the knees, gliding forward, hovering over the ground. Inhale when we go back into down dog. And now as we're exhaling and going forward, go forward in the cat position. So you feel like you're trying to lift your low back up towards the sky as you exhale and go forward. And then as you inhale into downward dog, try and stick out your butt. Do the opposite. Bend your knees so that you have movement in your pelvis. Exhaling, rounding the pelvis under as you glide forward. Keeping it under as you go back until you've lifted your sitting bones and you feel them open. Just two more. Keep the arms very straight. Exhaling when you go forward towards plank or quadruped with a low rounded spine. Inhaling as you sit back into inverted V or down dog, lifting the tailbone up. And the next time that we're exhaling and gliding forward, we're going to gently bring the knees down to the mat, walk towards our hands, and just have a seat. Sit on your pelvis with your legs crossed, an easy, comfortable seated position. And just take a second and notice how you feel now to come up after all those different positions and shapes we made. And just take a moment to sit with your breath. And as you exhale, tune into the weight of your pelvis. Notice the weight of your legs and the weight of your pelvis on the ground. And we're just going to gently start to draw a circle with our trunk, circling around the sitting bones that are on the floor. And if there is a lot of sensation around the pelvis when we go off to the side, sometimes make the movement smaller so that you don't get a lot of sensation. Keeping that quality of staying very heavy through the base of the pelvis. And relax your jaw, relax your eyes, and then we'll reverse that.
sensing what you find. Sometimes gases move around, might make you burp. It's all great, really good stuff. One more time, reverse the direction of your circle. Keeping the pelvis heavy, the abdomen soft. And then when you feel you're set, you're going to find the center. Take the feet out in front of you now. So our feet are on the floor, hands will come behind our knees. Inhale, and just notice that the inhale on its own makes you grow taller. And as you exhale, again, start rolling back in your pelvis. Use the hands, heavy thighs, helping you to roll back, drag your feet in. Try and roll through the lower back as slowly as you can. Inhale when you're on the mat. And as you exhale, we're going to push through the thighs, lift through the head, and rock ourselves up to sitting. Inhaling to sit tall. And again, when we exhale, think of the pelvis rolling back. Think of the spine rolling back and the arms pulling up on the legs. Follow your breath. The exhale is very helpful to go up and down. And you can almost like pulse the exhale through the areas that are sticky. So it's like, right, that exhaling with the throat. It doesn't have to make any sound. Excuse me. And as long as it's been feeling good through your neck and shoulders, keep your head, neck, and shoulders up now, just rocking through the low part. And when you rock back, feel like the top of your head wants to reach for the ceiling as your thighs and shins keep pushing away. Again, very helpful to be on the exhales and take very small inhales. And if you've had your head up, go ahead and take a rest, let your head go down. If you want to play a little bit with keeping your head up, do that, rocking through the low back. And then we're going to come back up to sitting one more time. Straighten the legs out only as far as you're able to sit tall. So if straight legs makes you feel like it pushes you back and shortens you, bend your knees so that you can get up on top of your sitting bones and feel pretty tall. Inhale and reach the arms up. And as you exhale, reaching up, stretching up to yawn out of your heavy legs, whether the knees are bent or not. And now we're going to take the arms behind us, turn the fingers to face the hips and lean back into the hands. Bend your knees, walk your feet in towards your sitting bones. Keep your arms straight. As you exhale, curl the tailbone back up towards the knees. Walk the feet out just a little bit if it's necessary so that you can lift your pelvis as high up as possible. If your feet are too close, then it's going to lift your heels. You want your heels to push down, pelvis to lift up, hands pushing down, head lifting up. And then you'll start to curl back in your shoulders, bringing the back of your heart, ribs, low back, pelvis down. Inhale when you're on the mat. Exhale, curl the tailbone up, push down into hands and heels. So heels of the feet and heels of the hands. And feel like the top of your head wants to press up to the sky. And then again, curl back in your upper back, ribs, and then finally pelvis. Follow your breath and keep going. Last one. And we'll come all the way down. Walk the feet a little further away once your pelvis is down. Bring your hands behind your knees again. Shoulders stay wide. Curl back in your pelvis. Try and keep your thighs as relaxed as possible. And make it feel like you want your sacrum to come down towards the mat. As you exhale, lengthen your right leg out and then bend your knee, bring it down. Exhale, switch sides. Think of when you were on your side and as you were moving your leg forward, I was saying pull your pubic bone back. It's a similar feeling here. Pull the pelvis back as the leg reaches out. You don't need to straighten your knee all the way. If your low back gets tired, then sit up out of it, stretch a little bit, take a breath, and then roll back into it. Let's just do one more for each leg. And if it feels appropriate, you're going to hold one leg up in tabletop and then hold the other leg up in tabletop and reach the arms forward and breathe. Right? You can hold on to the backs of your thighs and pull yourself in a little bit, but do try and stay on your sacrum so you're not coming forward in your trunk. You're trying to lean back and play with the pelvis rolling back. Take one more breath while you're here, and then slowly start to reach your feet back down. Hands can stay behind the knees and curl all the way down to the mat. Once you've come down, stand your feet into the ground. Relax head, neck, and shoulders. Notice the back resting on the floor, and we're going to peel up into bridge. Rolling the tailbone up towards the ceiling, again pressing down through the heels, but this time letting the shoulders relax. Breathe at the top, keep the tailbone curled up, and then slowly melting down through the spine. If your body feels like it wants to, you can let your knees turn way out, let the tailbone get pulled into the mat, lower back arches, and then exhaling, the knees coming together, pressing down through the feet, rolling back. Keep moving in and out of your bridge. Be mindful that there's weight under the inner edges of your feet, especially when you're at the top of the bridge. And the next time that you curl up into bridge, stay there. Find a bridge that you can stand in for a little while. With that sensation of your tailbone wanting to travel out and through your knees, the feet pressing down, and then the collarbones and the breastbone, the shoulders and the head feeling like they fall back. Close your eyes and breathe. As you inhale, noticing your abdomen, press your knees in towards each other just a little bit. Soften around the abdomen so all of the fluids and organs, everything can move and get rejuvenated. And then we'll gently start to roll down in our spine. Once our pelvis is on the mat, once again, hug the knees into your chest and gently rock from side to side. And rock as big as you want to rock. Enough space between your legs. You can let your head roll all the way onto the side of your body so that your head can roll on the ground. Be mindful that if you are turning your head a lot when you're on your side, that you unroll your head before you go anywhere.
You roll back on the side of your head. Your top knee pulls up into your chest. Like, try and use the weight of your legs to create the rocking. And then when you feel ready, you'll pause on your back, lengthen your legs all the way out. And again, separate the legs a comfortable distance apart, the arms a comfortable distance away from the body, and just close your eyes. And as you exhale, allow yourself to release. And again, go ahead and scan the back of your body and just notice the points of contact. What do you sense? Without trying to change or control anything, gently bring awareness to your breath. Notice your nostrils and the sensation of the breath as it moves into your body and as it moves out of your body. And if that's very abstract or just not clear right now, use your hand and squeeze the tip of your nose with one of your hands, like if you had an itch and you're squeezing your nose a few times, and then bring your hand back down, and you'll notice that when you breathe, you'll have a lot more awareness about your nostrils and the sensation of the breath. Notice that your exhale is a little bit warmer in temperature than your inhale. The inhale comes in fresh, and the exhale is warmed up by the body, and it leaves and cleanses us. And as you feel the breath moving in through your nostrils, visualize a color to represent the breath as it moves in through the body, and gently invite the color and the breath to move down through the back of your throat, down through your chest and into your abdomen. And as you exhale, visualize the color leaving the body. And as you visualize this color traveling in through the nose, filling you up from the top down, imagine it's like when you pour liquid into a cup and it fills the cup from the bottom all the way up to the rim. And then as you empty the cup, you exhale and empty from the top all the way down to the bottom. You can place one hand on your navel area and the other hand up around your diaphragm or breastbone area. And as you inhale, gently guide your breath down to your bottom hand. Feel how it moves in through the nose, travels down, and fills you up to the rim. And as you exhale and release, releasing around your head and your jaw, your shoulders, chest, and abdomen. Inhaling slowly and gently, visualizing the color traveling into the base of the abdomen or pelvis. And as you exhale, emptying and releasing from your eyebrows and eye sockets, from your jaw and your tongue. Releasing your throat, releasing all the way down. When you feel ready, release your control of the breath. Just allow your arms to fall wherever they'd like to be. And allow the breath to be involuntary. Notice. And gently deepen your breath. Taking in a slower and fuller inhale. When you feel ready, you'll wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And if your body feels like moving or stretching in any particular way, go ahead and do that for yourself. Otherwise, just turn onto your side, hugging your knees into your chest, and just cradling yourself. And keeping your eyes closed for just a little bit longer, you'll start to make your way up into a comfortable seated position with eyes closed and just explore what it feels like to perceive and move around with your eyes closed. You'll just come up to sitting in the most comfortable position for you right now. Just noticing what it's like to sit up tall, the space around the top of your head, and through the sides, back and front of your body. And on the following breath, we'll reach our fingertips down towards the floor, stretch the arms out to the sides, up and over the head. Open the eyes, stretch your fingers out. You can hook your thumbs together. Reach up and long if it's good for the shoulder. Take the arms behind the head. Feeling like you want to lift up out of your heavy pelvis. And then bring the hands down onto the knees. Just let yourself slouch. Round it out, look down and in. And then again, inhale, lifting the head up. Reach the arms out, up and over. Take a long stretch. You can hook your thumbs together so that the shoulders and arms become a unit, lifting up and exhaling, the arms coming down, and then letting everything settle back into your pelvis. Bring your hands together in prayer in front of your heart, and just bowing our heads down in reverence to ourselves, to our amazing bodies that are our vehicles in this life and move us around. Feeling deep gratitude for the mystery that the body is. And thanking yourself for taking the time out to be here right now. And I thank you also so much as well for being here. Have an awesome rest of your day. Namaste.
Namaste.